It's that time of the year again, holiday season. The time of gift giving, holiday cookies, and my personal favorite, the time to revamp, redo my entire bullet journal for the new year. This is my trusty agenda/bullet journal that I've been using for the past 2 years. 2021 has been a very eventful year, to say the least. I graduated, I moved to New York, and I have documented every single thing I have done every day for the entire year, all in these pages. Serving as both a daily agenda and as a weekly journal, I'm going to show you guys how I set up this Muji planner to be my favorite bullet journal of all time. To start off, I wanted to go through a basic flip through of how this agenda is organized. This is the 3rd year I've had this agenda, and I really love it because the design and layout come at a really reasonable price. The first few pages of the agenda open up to various calendars in multiple formats before introducing a weekly planner that is split between the days of the week and spare grid pages for you to do some note-taking. The back also includes more additional pages for you to use. And with that, I'm going to show you guys how I turned this blank monthly calendar into a diary, journal, and agenda all in one. Now, after collecting and designing my journals for the past few years, I've definitely grown a lot creatively and artistically because if you look at my first journals, like, what is this? I have no idea what I was trying to do here because it's very unorganized and honestly not very well designed. But that's the fun of designing new bullet journals every year because you can see how much you've grown. I've even included a color-coded key to add some cohesiveness and organization to my daily entries, and I love the way it all comes together. Now for the weekly agenda portion of these journals, I do go in at the beginning of each week to draw my own to-do list and errand tabs. This is a great way to keep myself accountable every single week, and it's also super fun to design. Now without further ado, let's unwrap my new agenda. It's happening! It's happening! The design process always starts with a good old Google search where I go and just find images on Pinterest or whatever it comes up in the search results and compile together the ones that match most what I'm envisioning in my head. Once I have a general vibe of what I'm going for, I go ahead and start outlining my spread designs. For some reason, I always get super nervous when I start that initial January spread, so it takes a little bit of time for me to use a pencil and sketch everything out before I go ahead and outline in black pen and color everything in. It does take a little bit of time at first, but as I continue and get into the groove of things start to fall into place, like this Chinese New Year inspired January spread. I don't usually follow a specific theme for each spread unless that month has a national holiday, so as you can see with February, I went with a Valentine's Day theme where I drew a bouquet of roses that took way too long to sketch out before adding some other elements like some Valentine's Day cards, notes, flowers, all that jazz. This is definitely the most fun part because you can pretty much do anything you want with it and there really is no boundary. I also really liked watching this time lapse of me just filling everything in because you can kind of see everything coming together slowly, piece by piece, and it's just really satisfying to watch. Now, because I don't follow a specific theme or outline when I'm out here designing these spreads, there are definitely times where I'm working and halfway through I go, ooh, maybe this wasn't such a good idea. A good example of that was my April spread where it just didn't look the way I envisioned because I cannot draw umbrellas. I can barely draw a circle, so it ended up looking like this. Oh my god, I really fucked up this umbrella. Ew, it looks so bad. Sorry to all my April babies. I'm never gonna draw an umbrella in my life ever again. Lesson learned with the umbrellas. They all ended up looking like elongated eggplants, so I'm never gonna touch that ever again. So as I proceeded into May, I stuck with more of a floral theme that was so much easier to draw. I really started to enjoy myself around this time because you become more comfortable with the process and you can go ahead and start freehanding and adding whatever you want. This is really where I feel like my creativity started to peak because I was just going at it without really thinking, but that's the most fun part. For June, I decided to draw a little study nook in the corner of the calendar. Don't ask me why, I associated June with studying, that's just how it turned out, so I rolled with it. And as we proceeded into July, aka my birthday month, I knew for a fact I didn't want to do a 4th of July theme because that is just a little bit oversaturated. So I went ahead and drew a tarot card inspired column that mimicked the sun card. And then I added some other elements like some stars, chandeliers dangling from the top of the page, and then some flowers and whatnot as I freehanded the vast majority of what you see on the screen right now. I feel like I was really able to go and draw out my personality in 2 pages, and I always look forward to doing this spread. By November, I was feeling a lot more comfortable with the way I was drawing, so I went ahead, just found a picture online, and then sketched everything out in one stroke. It was super fun, and of course I had to add some fall elements as I planned out this holiday theme. And then as I proceeded into December, I went ahead and free-handed this winter village type thing in the corner because I did have much more limited space in this one, but it turned out pretty cute. Added some very stereotypical Christmas decorations, colored that in, and then wrapped it up as I ended my yearly planner with a bang. And just like that, the process is complete, and I have a brand new reflective space that I can use to write down funny stories, silly memories, all throughout 2022. Hopefully by the end of that year, I will have a journal that reflects this one, which is the 2021 journal that I'm excited to finish in the next few weeks. This is such a great process because it doesn't have to be super neat. It's all completely for you, and you did it yourself. Now for the weekly agenda pages, I always intentionally leave these blank so I can fill them out at the beginning of every single week and leave that as a task to do. I always start with a header. It changes every single time I do it, and I add a to-do list because God knows if I don't have a checkbox of the things I need to complete, I will not do anything. So I always customize it depending on what I see online or what I'm feeling, and it's really fun because that means every single page is completely unique by itself. And then as the days pass, you can see it slowly fill up with the things you accomplished and the things you need to do, so forth, so on. I always add some errands tabs. This takes a little bit of time to do and distracts me from actually being productive, but I actually really enjoy either way. Then I go ahead and pick a color scheme for that page. For example, I'll do purple for one page and write everything or highlight everything in purple, and then switch to maybe a different color like blue, and then so on and so forth. Last but not least, I use the remaining grid pages in the very back of this agenda to create reflection sheets that I fill out at the end of every single month. I went ahead and colored in every single title with a corresponding color that matched their actual calendar spread. I like these reflection sheets mainly because it's a great way to just close out a month as well as look back at previous months as time passes. It's just a nice way to kind of meditate on the things that have changed and all the things I've learned and how to move forward in the future. That's pretty much the end of the video, everybody. You guys can probably tell based off of my outfit that this video took a couple of days to complete because drawing out, planning, sketching, and organizing my brand new bullet journal for New Year does take some time, but it's actually a process that's so incredibly fun and so worth it in the end when you see the final product. There is no rule to however you want to decorate it. Do it with your own free will. Every single year I look back at these journals and it's a lot of fun just to see all the crazy little things that I write and all the things that I've accomplished throughout the year, because it might not feel like a lot in the day and in the moment, but when you look back on it all 365 days of the year, you realize like so much has changed, and 24 hours a day is actually a lot of time. So I hope you enjoy the video, and I will see you guys next time.